Hello, and welcome to a bonus BTFO. Today we're going to be talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu. This isn't, don't expect this to be a regular thing. I just really needed to rant about this movie. And I'm pretty sure the discourse will be just fucking dead in a week, which, it probably should be. The Mandalorian and Grogu. Don't go see it. Spend your time doing anything else. Anything else will be way more productive with your time. To get into spoilers, I kind of just want to go through the plot. We'll see where that takes me. Because right off the bat, we're really stupid. We have Imperial Remnant Man, and he's having a meeting with a bunch of people around this table in this base, and Mando just shows up and he tells them okay, everyone arm yourselves, and they're all I don't know about that. And it's what? No, guys, you're Imperial Remnant. We're 8 years after Return of the Jedi. According to Disney canon, that's 7 years after the Galactic Civil War ended. You guys should be very used to being on the run, having to use your blasters and shit. That shouldn't be a really new concept for you. But then that guy disappears. He goes down an elevator shaft, and Mando walks in, and he kills a couple snowtroopers that are really stupid, that go ooh, fire, I should look really low at it, and then they get shot in the face. But the table of people, they just give up, and they point towards the elevator shaft, and Mando walks over and drops a thermal detonator down it, and it's Mando, don't you want to capture these people alive, or at least have some proof that you killed them? I don't know that you'd be using a thermal detonator on that, but then also it's man, so if the New Republic is commissioning bounties for Imperial remnants, it's wouldn't everyone here have money on their head? Even if it's not a lot, surely those snowtroopers that he killed, they'd have a bounty on their heads. All the people at the table, it's oh yeah, the New Republic definitely wants to know, even if they're not Imperial Remnant, what are they doing meeting with the Imperial Remnant? But then, yeah, Mando goes and has to chase Warlord Man, because I don't actually think he has a name. I'm pretty sure all the toys and stuff literally do just call him Imperial Warlord, because why do we even bother naming our glove shittos at this point? At this point they are just fucking John Does. Mando goes and tries to track him down, which is really dumb, because he's bringing Grogu with him the whole time, and it's Mando, Grogu's a baby, or at least he acts like a baby most of the time. You probably shouldn't have him with you. And especially because when Mando goes off of the cliff with the AT-RT, he can't see the AT-AT walkers. He just fucking starts going down the cliff, and then happens to end up right in front of them. And it's what the fuck? Mando, why did you do that? Why did you just actively endanger your lives? Also, you have a jetpack. Like, what is the point in running down on the ATRT when you have a jetpack? You can just drop on top of them. They can't do anything about that. Like, what the fuck is the point? But then, like, he jumps in, and it's really bizarre because the film, like, I don't know. I think it's trying to go for, like, oh, like, you know, fucking Imperials, like, they're trash, we can just throw them away. And it's like, yeah, but then you give them lines where, like, as Mando's getting to the Warlord, he, like, sends the pilots out to go, like, deal with Mando, which there's an autopilot on the AT-AT, which it's like, no, I don't think you can really have an autopilot on something like that. Like, the reason why you can have it on, like, actual planes is because there's nothing for it to fucking hit. Whereas if you, like, have, you know, autopilot on a walker, then it's like, oh, okay, like, you're really hoping that it doesn't hit anything. But, like, they have the pilots tell the Warlord, like, but we're just pilots. And, like, they get out there and Mando, like, literally he just, like, tosses one of them off of a cliff. And we watched the guy's, like, fucking head smash on the cliffside. And I was like, oh, man, like, I feel kind of bad for that guy. Like, what the fuck did he do? Like, you know, he was just fucking, he was trying to drive his AT-AT. Like, you know, that was all he was trying to do. But then fucking Warlord guy, like, leaves in a little ship, and he leaves a bunch of, like, you know, detonator charges. And Baby Yoda is, like, trying to tap Mando on the shoulder to be like, oh, like, we gotta get rid of the, like, you know, we gotta get out of here. Like, the detonator charges are gonna go off. And it's like, like, the side of the thing is open. Why don't you just throw the detonators out? Like, you could easily do that and then go back to, like, trying to shoot him down with the AT-AT, which Mando does. And again, it's like, oh, so he's not taking him alive. And, like, you know, and we'll get through the rest of the film a little bit faster, because that's, you know, this is really a microcosm of kind of the whole film, where it's just nonsense after nonsense. But if you don't think about it, well, yeah, it looks very pretty. And, you know, you can sit there and go, oh, Mando's so cool, fuck yeah, Mando. And it's like, well, okay, but the second you turn your brain on, like, you know, the second you fucking have to use your 2 brain cells to put a piece of popcorn into your mouth, you're gonna go, wait a second, like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, but, like, Zeb points out to him, because Zeb is there, from Star Wars Rebels. No word on Agent Callus or the rest of the Lasat, because we don't really want to address that, like, oh yeah, Zeb Zeb forgave the Hitler of his people. Like, you know, yeah, Star Wars Rebels is a great show, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. But they have him in the U-Wing because it's like, oh yeah, I guess they realized that, yeah, Mando can't really be a bounty hunter in his N1 starfighter. But it's like, well, Mando doesn't bring anyone in alive, I guess. Like, that's not really something he's interested in doing anymore. So, why is the U-Wing here? It's like, shut up, don't worry about it. And so, like, Mando goes back to the New Republic base and meets with Sigourney Weaver. And she's like, hey, we need them to be brought in alive. And Mando's response to that is like, oh, so I'm not getting paid for this one? And it's like, Mando, like, you're lucky if that's it. You know, like, if the New Republic is telling you, hey, here's a bunch of, like, ex-Imperial people that we think might be operating still, like, might be gathering forces and stuff as part of, like, an Imperial remnant. We're gonna send you out there to bring them back alive so that we can question them. And you kill all of them. That looks a lot like you're working with them. Like, that looks really suspicious, Mando. Like, you're really lucky. But no, instead, she disciplines him by giving him a Razor Crest. Like, I'm not kidding. She's like, oh, I'm so upset with you, Mando. You keep killing these guys. Here's a Razor Crest. And he's like, oh, that seems like that's more than the bounty that was on the Warlord guy. And she's like, yeah, it is. It's also an advance on your next job. Which it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, does he actually want a Razor Crest now? Because Mando Season 3, he didn't seem to care. He seemed perfectly content with his N1 Starfighter. Does he really want a Razor Crest? Because, like, if he accepts that, that's 2 missions without any pay. That it's like, oh, yeah, well, like, I kind of, like, you kind of need money, right? Like, as nice as a Razor Crest is, like, he needs money, doesn't he? No, I guess not, because I guess he's rich somehow. But so they tell Mando that he's gonna meet with the twins, and they're gonna send him to go get Rada the Hutt and bring him back to them, and then they're gonna give him information on where an Imperial is, which already is a little weird, because it's like, oh, so the New Republic, is interacting with the Hutts as though they're, like, their own sovereign nation, and, has no, like, why isn't the New Republic pressing them on, like, no, guys, like, the Empire was bad for you too, so you need to, like, just give us the information on where that guy is. And as we'll get to, the twins' plan is, like, fucking retarded. So there's no reason why this would happen. But so Mando goes to Nal Hutta, speaks with the twins, and they give him the exact same mission that he just got. And so then he leaves to actually go on the mission. There's a good 10 minutes that we can just cut out of the film. But so then he gets to the moon where Rada the Hutt is supposed to be, and he finds, which I will say, the aliens are neat, but this moon is, like, notably human. Like, to the point where any alien you see is like, oh, they stand out. Because, like, everyone is human. And it's like, oh, that's, okay, like, that's a little bizarre. Like, there were actually more aliens than, like, the crowds on Ferrix. Like, it's like, oh, okay. But, like, Mando runs up to a food stand where Martin Scorsese's alien character is. And Mando goes, okay, I need you to give me information on the Hutts. Also give me a sandwich. And he's like, no, like, I don't really like to talk about the Hutts, That's not really, like, something I want to do. And so then Mando's like, okay, well, what about, like, Mr. Coin of the Syndicate? They just call it the Syndicate, We don't want to say, like, we don't actually want to name a new syndicate. Which is funny, because it's like, you could just fucking name, what the fuck was it? Zarek Besh, right? From Outlaws? Like, because it is, like, spoilers, I guess, but it's the ex-Imperial from Mando Season 3, that he's running the Syndicate on this moon, and it's like, oh, you know, why not just tie it in with Outlaws at that point? Like, why are we just being lazy and being like, nah, the Syndicate, that's good enough. Like, doesn't need an actual name. And Martin Scorsese's alien character is like, yeah, I really don't want to talk about that. And like Mando just keeps like being like, nah, you're gonna talk about it though. And it's like, Mando, like, this is the first fucking guy that you ran into on this planet. Like, do you not think there's anyone better to ask? Like, you know, but luckily Martin Scorsese has like done work for the Syndicate, and so he's like dropped off shipments at the Salt Bar, uh, which is another pointless thing that goes nowhere because Mando goes there, he gets in a big fight. There's one of the Sensei Tin aliens, and Mando like punches off part of his horn, which it's like, oh, I hope that grows back. Like, otherwise that was like a really dick move, Mando. Like, you just decided to fucking mutilate that guy? Like, why? Like, because he was fucking sitting in a chair and being like, yeah, I don't really want to talk to you. Like, but, like, it's really pointless because basically the guy is like the Imperial guy that Mando doesn't know is Imperial somehow. He's like, oh, yeah, Rada, I'm actually gonna kill him in his next fight. Like, his next fight, he's not gonna be able to win, period. So, I suggest you go bet against him. Also, here's a bunch of salt, because of the government rations, which is what the Imperial guy says, salt is being rationed on this moon. I was like, well, we established that the New Republic doesn't have a presence out here. They're like, this is out of the New Republic's jurisdiction. So, why are they putting a ration on this place? Question mark? Like, you know, also, like, I'm sorry, but salt? Really? Of all things? Like, wouldn't someone just go with, like, a freighter or, like, even a U-Wing? Like, you know, just go to Crate, spend an afternoon just boxing up salt off of the surface of the planet, and then go back there and just be rich? Like, you know, it's like, I don't know if I believe that, but, like, yeah, that never really comes up again in the film. Like, the salt thing is only there so that Mando can just drop his salt into some guy's drink. And I was like, wow, Mando, that's like a really dick move. You ruin that guy's drink, and you, like, you know, diminish this planet or this moon of, like, resources that it's lacking in. Like, yeah, fuck you, Mando. Like, that was a really dick move. I guess I skipped past Rada's introduction because it's really pointless. He just goes, I'm Rada the Hutt, and I sound like this now, and oh, it's so hard when Jabba's your dad. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what do you mean it's hard when Jabba's your dad? Like, the only other appearances we have of Rada as a child is with Jabba being a very loving parent toward him. Like, you know, which is something that the film wants to go back and forth on, because they'll later have the twins tell Rada, Jabba's not here to protect you anymore. And it's like, oh, it sounds like Jabba was, like, doing a pretty good job of, like, raising you and, like, actually protecting you and stuff. But, you know, the film wants to have it both ways. And it's also just bizarre because, so, this is where we kind of learn what the twins' plan is, where they say that Rada is the true heir to the Hutt throne, that, like, he can claim Jabba's seat, which gives him control of all of the Hutts. And so they want to get rid of him so that they're in charge, like, so that they solidify their claim. Now, couldn't they have just told the New Republic, hey, Rada is working with the Empire, because they know that he is actually working with the Imperial Remnant, you know? Like, it would be the truth to be like, hey, he's working with the Empire out on this moon, you know? You eliminate both of them and, like, you know, we'll take over, and maybe we'll do less crimes against the New Republic. You know, it's like, oh, like, yeah, they could have just done that. But instead, they're like, okay, so we need the New Republic to send Mando to rescue Rada from the Imperials, who are going to kill him, so that we can kill him. And then somehow that benefits the Empire, so they pay us, and then we tell the New Republic where the Empire is, so that the New Republic pays us. I was like, what? Like, no, like, that's not... Why would the Empire pay them? You know, like, they try and frame it as, like, oh, they played both sides, and it's like, no, they didn't. Like, how... In what way does anything that they did help the Imperial Remnant? Like, you know, why would the Imperial Remnant at all, like, pay them? Like, what the fuck? But, so yeah, then, fucking Imperial, Chief Coin, or whatever, Mr. Coin, Little Piggy Bank, he fucking, he sends them up in a gladiator match, and it's really boring, and there's just a whole bunch of nonsense, and then they break out of the gladiator match, because it turns out that if you throw one of the creatures that can just make electricity at the fence, it will turn off the fence. I was like, oh, that feels like a serious design flaw, especially considering that, like, you were planning on this. Like, that wasn't like a surprise element. Like, you were fully planning on having that creature in there. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, that feels like a weak flaw. But then they all break out, and Rada gets in a fucking speeder. And I was like, I can't go back there, Mando. So then he gets in a car chase, because Baby Yoda jumps into a fucking, like, hover stroller that can go as fast as speeders. That is like, why? In what world would you allow a baby to have control over a vehicle that can go upwards of 60 miles an hour? Like, why? Why is that a thing that happens? But so then they capture Rada, and Rada is like, oh, if you let me go, if you don't take me to Nal Hutta, I'll tell you where you can find the Imperial guy, because that guy that just tried to kill me, yeah, that's your Imperial guy, actually. The guy named Coin that you're looking for, yeah, well, he's actually this other guy named Coin. Isn't that, like, weird? Like, they have the same exact name. Like, crazy, right? So then they go, and they just get him. They're like, oh man, he's in a really heavily fortified area. And they just walk in, grab him. You know, only like 3 of the troopers remember that they have blasters, so Zeb is able to just wipe them out really easy. It's also kind of annoying where Mando, after like shooting down a bunch of troopers, he tells Mr. Coin, like, he does his line of like, oh, I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold. And like, Zeb doesn't say anything, but it's like, no, Zeb, you absolutely, like, I know it undermines Mando as a character, but Zeb should absolutely be stepping in and going, no, we're taking him in warm, like, he's coming in alive, we're not killing him, Mando, like, we really need the information that he has, you know? And also, it's like, yeah, really lucky that he didn't have one of the fucking electric cyanide capsules. Like, you know, really lucky that he decided that, like, oh yeah, I'll just surrender. And so they go back to the base. They're like, oh yeah, it turns out that he told us that, like, yeah, the twins were planning on playing both sides. And again, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. And so you might assume, like, oh, okay, the movie's over now, right? Like, that's, like, the plot's done, you know? Like, that's the end of the narrative thrust, and it's like, no, we're going to Navarro. We're not gonna meet anyone because we don't actually want to address what happened to Carl Weathers' character, you know, because Carl Weathers unfortunately passed away. It's like, oh yeah, well, he can't be there. Gina Carano's character can't be there. So, you know, it's like, I don't know, you could have had IG-11 show up and be like, oh, welcome back, Mando. But, I don't know. It's like, oh, okay. So they're just out at Mando's house. And then Mando is like, okay, Rada, I'm not going to take you to Nalhada. Instead, I'm going to call in a favor from this gun runner that I know. And this droid comes down in a spaceship. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, when did this happen? Like, the only time that Mando could have possibly met this guy is post season 2, but even then, it wouldn't make sense, because he's still, like, season 3 reintroduces that, like, oh yeah, he still doesn't like droids. So it's like, when did he meet this droid and become, like, acquaintances with it? You know, like, did he meet him while he was working for the New Republic? And was like, oh hey, a gun-running droid. I'm not gonna report that to the New Republic. It's like, what? Like, okay, I don't know where this guy came from. But Rada gets on his ship and is like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm out of the plot for now. And then later that night, fucking Embo from the Clone Wars shows up, which, throughout the movie they just call him Hunter, and, like, Mando refers to him as, like, a member of his species. I think it's a Klatooinian. But it's like, no, he was like, you know, again, Dave Filoni fucking forgetting the shit that he wrote. It's like, well, you know, Sabine, like, he was notable enough that Sabine, like, painted him in the Ghost. He also, like, he was one of the bounty hunters that very nearly kidnapped the Chancellor. Like, you know, like, he very nearly ended the Clone Wars and won it for the Separatist side. Like, I'm sorry, but he'd be super notable. But he just storms in and captures Mando, because Mando was really dumb and was like, oh, he's on my roof? Well, I'll just blow up my own roof. It's like, oh, okay. And so he takes Mando to the huts, and Grogu fucking gets in the Babu Frick's spaceship, which is smaller than, like, a regular size sedan. Which it's like, yeah, guys, I don't buy that that's going to hyperspace. Like, sorry, but that's incredibly small to just be able to go to hyperspace. Like, we're getting to the territory where it's like, yeah, why don't we have hyperspace missiles then? Like, you know, if a ship that small can go to hyperspace, then, you know, why can't every ship just go to hyperspace? And it's like, yeah, we don't really want to address that. Like, but then, so they show up at Nalhada, and it's kind of funny, because the twins, they bring in Mando, and they take his helmet off, and they're like, oh, this is worth, like, you know, what's the term they use? Like, it's worth an infinite amount on the black market. And I was like, no, it's worth a lot of money on any market. Like, it's not illegal to sell Mandalorian armor. What? Like, what are you talking about? Like, why would you say on the black market? Like, you know, it's really valuable. Yeah. So you should probably take the rest of his armor off. Like, you know, but it's like, nah, they're gonna hold on to it. And then they're like, oh yeah, we know the Mandalorian creed, so we know that it's like really humiliating to have your helmet taken off. You're gonna have to go back in that fucking bathtub again. Fucking Mando makes up a new rule, and he's like, oh, well actually, since you've seen my face, I have to kill you. I was like, no, that hasn't been a rule. Like, you know, and it's like, oh, well, he said that enemies that see his face have to die. And I was like, no, that's straight up not true. Like, the end of season 2, Moff Gideon sees his face, and Mando insists that he gets arrested. Like, Mando insists on not killing Moff Gideon. It's like, no, you can't have this. Like, you can't say that, like, oh yeah, that's just part of the creed now, that you can kill him. And also, it's like, so the helmet thing has been fucking retarded throughout Mando, but also, like, why is he so upset about it? You know, because at this point, like, they've retaken Mandalore. It's easier than ever if he takes his helmet off to just go back to Mandalore and fucking take a bath. Like, you know, like, it's so easy. Like, he can just walk in and out of the living waters whenever he fucking feels like it. Yet Mando's like super pissed that, like, oh, you took off my helmet. Ooh. So then he gets dropped into the lame Rancor pit, where for some reason, even though they have like a giant poison snake thing to try and kill him, which comes out of nowhere, which is really funny because it's like, it's so big that it's like, where the fuck did it come from? Like, no, it was not here the whole time. Bullshit. Like, but they also have weird, like, aquatic guard people that have sharp sticks that try and kill Mando, and they fail because Mando is still wearing his fucking armor. And so now Mando just has a weapon. And it's like, oh man, that's really lame. Well, Mando fights all of those guys off, and then the Hutts are like, oh, that's kind of cool. Here's your helmet back. It's like, what? Like, no, guys, you just said that, like, that was worth a lot of money. Like, you need to sell that. Like, you know? But then fucking Grogu comes in and, like, saves the day, like, sets off a bomb to let Mando out of the cage. It doesn't let the giant snake thing out of the cage, though, for some reason. It's just a big enough hole to get Mando through, and nothing else. Totally. That's what happened. I was like, oh, okay, like, and then there's a good 30 minutes of the film that could all be cut, where it's just fucking Mando is passed out sick in the forest, and Grogu has to watch over him. And I don't know, there is part of it that's really funny where Grogu is like stealing fish from this one guy, and he's there, and like they hear Embo coming, and so the guy tells Grogu to hide, and then like Embo walks up, says like one word, and then we see Grogu like watching them and like watching Embo's dog like coming towards him, and it's like notably quiet, and then fucking Embo like leaves with his dog because the guy's like, hey, don't let your dog eat my fish. And so Embo's like, okay, fine, whatever, like, I'm leaving. You know, Mando's probably fucking dead. But like Embo doesn't say anything because Embo only has like 2 words in this film. I'm surprised that Dave Filoni showed such restraint. Uh, but um, but then they have the fucking guy with the fish. Like he's like, oh, the hunter said that like you came here with someone else, and that he could die in a couple days if he doesn't, like, he's been poisoned by this thing. And it's like, no, he didn't say any of that. Like we were there the whole time. Like, you didn't add that dialogue in there, like, which it would have all been ADR because Embo doesn't have a fucking mouth. Like, it's always covered by his little like mask thing. So it's like, yeah, you guys, you straight up forgot to add the dialogue in that scene. Like, it's all Huttese anyways. Like, you forgot to add it in. Like, that's fucking crazy. But so then Yoda goes back and I guess earlier he force healed Mando, so that's what kept him alive until now. And then he gives him the antidote poison, being careful not to remove Mando's helmet because Pedro Pascal wasn't available on set for that day. Because it's really funny, because it's like, why does it matter? He already has to go fucking take another bath. Like, why does it matter that he keeps his helmet on anymore? Like, until he takes another bath, he's technically not a Mandalorian. Like, he could take his helmet off all the time if he wants to. But so then Mando comes back and is awake again, and he's like, okay, I guess we need to deal with the Hutts because they're always gonna keep coming for us. Also, oh yeah, I guess I forgot to mention earlier that the twins' plan is even more retarded than it was before, because now that they've captured Rada the Hutt, they told Mando, specifically to spite Mando, that because Rada lives for hundreds of years, much like Grogu, which is another thing where it's like, why do the Hutts know so much about Grogu? Like, like, Mando doesn't know that much. Like, the only reason why he knows that stuff is because he knows Jedi who know Yoda. Like, did the Hutts know Yoda? Like, is that where they're inferring this from? Like, but, like, they say that because Rada lives for so long, they're gonna just torture him for hundreds of years. And it's like, guys, no, you can't do that, especially not on Nal Hutta. What if the other Hutts walk in and they're like, hey, that guy's supposed to be in charge. I don't think he really wants to be tortured right now. Like, like, why don't you take him out of the torture rack so that we can, like, talk to him and see what he wants us to do? Like, it's like, you can't just do that. Like, you can't. He's the one obstacle in the way of, like, your claim to the throne, which is a throne that he doesn't want. So it's like, he should be able to just get out by going, no, I'm, like, gonna renounce my claim to the throne. Which, again, is another thing where it's like, oh man, Mando, like, you actually, someone that, has taken Jabba's seat. Like, literally taken Jabba's seat and Jabba's palace. Like, maybe you should get Boba on the line and be like, hey, Boba, Rada the Hutt doesn't like the twins. You don't like the twins. Maybe you should work with Rada and you can take over the Hutt criminal empire. But it's like, nope, we can't get Boba Fett in here. Like, that's another character. Like, we can't afford that shit. And so Mando and Grogu just kind of walk in, and it's really bizarre where, like, the droid Gotra, which is a thing from, like, the fucking books or the comics, that, like, it's an independent group of, like, salvaged battle droids and stuff that actively fight for, like, droid rights and stuff. They mentioned earlier in the film that they've been hired by the Hutts for protection. And it's like, oh, um, why are they like so adamant on being like, no, fuck you, Mando, like, we're gonna kill you, like, you're not getting in there, like, and then when Mando does get in there and like the twins die, they're still like, nah, we're gonna keep fighting you, Mando, fuck you. It's like, what? How much are they fucking paying you guys? Like, like, wouldn't you just want to leave after they're dead? Like, wouldn't you be like, oh yeah, I guess there's no one paying me anymore, like, we should leave. But yeah, so Mando and Grogu get into a boss fight with Embo and his dog, and Rada gets into a boss fight with the twins, and he's fucking slamming them around, and because their whole base, except for the doors, I guess, their whole base is made out of hut cream, it fucking falls apart underneath Rada the Hutt, or underneath the weight of the 3 huts, and then Grogu uses the Force to save Rada. They like let the twins get eaten by the snake dragon, and then the New Republic shows up, and sure enough, in New Republic fashion, even though they stated earlier that like the Hutts are their own sovereign government and we can't send backup and stuff, they're like, okay, Mando, like, we're gonna destroy that place, so you better get out of there, like, because if we get there and you're still in there, ah man, like, that's too bad, we're blowing it up. And it's like, guys, why? Like, Rada is in charge now, right? Like, the twins aren't there, he's got no other competition to the throne, he can just call off all the attacks, right? I was like, I mean, yeah, like, that's kind of the whole point, like, it becomes really pointless if he can't do that, but the film doesn't remember that, so yeah, we're just gonna ignore that. And then it's like, guys, are there huts all over the galaxy, or is this most of them? Because you showed a lot of huts earlier in the film, like, specifically in this building. If you blow this up, are you fucking genociding the huts? Like, like, fucking every time Dave Filoni gets to fucking get his hands on the New Republic, he always makes them the bad guys. Whether it's fucking Mando Season 1 where they're like, oh, we got a distress beacon from our prisoner ship? Well, let's go blow up that space station it's coming from. It's like, what? Like, dude, what if your guy was in there? It's like, nah, he knew that if he sets off the distress beacon, we blow him up. It's like, what? Like, and then in this, it's like, oh yeah, like, we're just casually gonna blow up the Hutt's home. It's like, what? Like, do you think you can do that? What would the rest of the galaxy think about, oh yeah, the New Republic, they just topple governments that they don't like. It's like, oh, I don't think you can do that, guys. Like, I think that's really bad. But, so then they all get picked up by Zeb, and they go back to the New Republic base, and fucking Rada the Hutt is like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do, like, maybe I'll stick around here for a while. And Mando, for some reason, is like, I don't know if you'd really fit in around here. It's like, what do you mean, Mando? Like, what do you mean by that? That's a really weird thing to say, Mando. Like, why wouldn't he fit in? Like, are you trying to imply something? Like, what the fuck? Like, and then Zeb is like, I think I've got a uniform that'll fit him. Which, it's like, guys, shouldn't someone bring up, like, hey, Rada, would you mind maybe, like, I don't know, taking down the, like, criminal empire that your family has run for thousands of years? Like, You know, like, would you mind disassembling that while you have the chance? You know? And it's another issue that we have where it's like, oh, so if we're gonna set up that Rada doesn't like the Empire, and that he does like the New Republic, it's like, where was Rada during the OT? Like, you know, it's like, I'm sorry, but like, if Luthen Rail fucking heard that, oh yeah, the son of Jabba the Hutt is empathetic to the rebellion, it's like, you bet your ass he'd be like, okay, yeah, like, we're getting you to Yavin immediately. Like, no, we, like, to have the backing of the Hutt criminal empire for the rebellion, like, that is super useful. Like, we need that shit. But it's like, oh yeah, well, this is kind of the problem with Dave Filoni's writing, that like, oh, fucking Rada the Hutt exists in the Clone Wars movie and that one episode of the Clone Wars, and he exists here. He wasn't a character in between. He did not exist during those periods of time. Like, they even have a fucking hologram where the twins are like it's a hologram of fucking baby Rada the Hutt. And they're like, oh, he's had a growth spurt since then. It's like, really? Like, you guys haven't updated his holo image in 30 fucking years? Like, what the hell? Why? Like, why? And like, that's it. Like, that's essentially where the movie ends. There's no setup for, like, you know, because it's like, at this point in time, right? Something that, like, Zeb should be aware of, because it's like, no, like, I would be willing to bet that Ahsoka Season 2 is going to establish that Hera called Zeb to let him know that, oh yeah, Ezra is, like, back in the regular galaxy, Sabine is trapped in another galaxy, and Grand Admiral Thrawn has returned to our galaxy and is going to raise an army of zombie witches. Like, yeah, you know, like, that should be information that should be relevant towards this film. Like, that is happening at the same time that this movie is happening. But it's like, oh yeah, nope, like, we're not gonna address that, like, not gonna tease that, like, hey guys, this is kind of a New Republic, like, we need all hands on deck type situation, you know, like, we can't really, magic witch zombies are a little bit out of our wheelhouse here. We're gonna need all the help we can get. But yeah, it's like, nope, why would we set that up? Like, even from a business standpoint, it's like, oh yeah, why would we set up our future projects? Are you fucking stupid? Like, you know, because it's like, I'm willing to bet that this movie flops. Like, I'm willing, like, I don't see it making all that much money. But like, it's probably gonna have more eyes on it than just about anything on Disney Plus. So, if you wanted to promote something on Disney Plus, or something coming to Disney Plus, now would have been the time. But oh well, too late. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, this was really bad. And I really needed to rant about it. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and bye.